Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have a bit of a discussion today about one of potentially the worst changes Kuro Games has made to their game. And I'm considering this one of the worst changes, not simply due to what the actual bug was that ended up getting fixed, but the way that they went around fixing it and the actual compensation for the fixes. Because it looks right now, when you consider a lot of the other stuff going on in 3.0, it does look like one of the most mismanaged things I've seen in a while. So let's just go ahead, let's start breaking this situation down. So at a baseline, the Tower of Adversity reset happened a couple of days ago. And one thing about this reset is that it felt like one of the more achievable resets that we've had in recent history. And it turns out that when it came to some of the buffs that were going on in the middle tower, one of those buffs actually included, and I should actually, hopefully I should be, okay, never mind. So, when it came to this TOA buff, this bug fix was actually related to floors 3 and 4, the new highest difficulty stages in the TOA. And one of the big parts about this reset was the fact that there was an all attribute resistance increase of 15%. Resonators with the shield are unaffected, and when they take Toon Rupture damage, which only Linné can do, right, the effect is removed. And so the idea over here, right, is that a lot of people went through those stages, had great clears, had a good time, and of course, got all their ass right. But it appears that the music is potentially going to stop, ladies and gentlemen, because Kuro Games sent us a bit of mail, an official update, bug fix regarding current phase of Tower of Adversity. Dear Rovers, we fixed an issue in the current cycle of TOA where the effect, enemies all attribute resistance, is increased by 15% for floor 4. Of the hazard zones, hazard tower did not take effect. So basically what they're saying over here is that this 15% all attribute increase was happening for one of the stages, but not for the other. And so floor 4 was the one impacted. And so we are now offering you the following compensation. Please refer to the corresponding notice for details. And you get 80 astrite. And so this is going to be my take over here. When you consider the massive number of bugs that have been in Wuthering Waves 3.0, this is the crazy part. We might actually find another bug right now, because one of the bugs is that when you open the page to find the bugs, it bugs out your client and you can't click anything else and you got to restart it. This is the current list of known issues in the game in 3.0. This is all the bug fixes that were in 3.0. That's the list. It just keeps going. Maybe this is why this shit bugs out, because it's too damn long. This is the only compensation we've gotten the entire update with all of those bugs, and it's 80 pulls, and the compensation comes along with the literal endgame becoming harder and harder to clear. This is my take. How is it that you're only getting 80 for the endgame becoming harder? Sorry, not 80 pulls, 80 astrite. And also, how is this the only thing that's getting compensated? Because you want to know another massive bug that I actually found, because again, the beta testers just didn't play this team. You want to know another massive bug that I found? Take a look at this. Have Chacona, making sure you don't lose too many. One thing about Arrow Rovers is that they got an outro skill, right? You're gonna notice over here, we got Arrow Rovers outro skill, right? That should help. It disappears when Linné intro skills in off of Arrow Rover's outro. It disappeared for like, it was like that for the entire patch up until today. And so for mechanics, right, like an outro skill getting deleted, that gets no compensation. But for this, when we literally are saying we're making the end game harder and we're making it harder to get, and this is the important part, we're making the end game harder by applying that 15% attribute damage increase or attribute resistance increase, right? We're making it harder, and so it's going to also be harder for you to get the rewards. And like, the funny thing is, let's just imagine, right? Somebody doesn't get the 36 star. Somebody doesn't get it, right? Because it got harder. Well, now they're like losing all of these too that they would have gotten before. So it's like, it doesn't even feel like complete compensation. My take on this is that this is the stupidest thing and this might be the stupidest public communication I've ever seen from Kuro Games. Genuinely. I have no idea How? Whoever signed off on this, signed off on this. How are you only giving out 80, right? Following all of these bugs. And how has nothing else in the version, bug-wise, been compensated? Other than the thing that is actually going to fuck some people over. And this is my take. It doesn't make sense. And I hope players give a lot of feedback to the developers regarding how they've handled this. Because I do think it's the worst thing they've ever done. Now that we talked about that situation, let's talk about the specifics of the nerf. Because this is a nerf to players, and it is a buff to the TOA. And some players are naturally wondering, right? Teams that were able to clear before, are they still going to be able to clear now? And the thing is, I'm not entirely sure. Basically, on floor 4, this whole entire all attribute resistance debuff that was making the mobs tankier was just not applying at all. However, if you're in a situation where you were already using a resonator with a shield on the team, or you were already using Linné for these floors, it doesn't matter at all. Because functionally, it would have just disappeared anyway by the time your main DPS is on the field. And so, this is basically the logic that I'm saying over here. If these were the characters that you already had in your lineup, you shouldn't have any issues at all. You shouldn't actually have any difference at all in your clears. So from this perspective, it is like a literal non-factor for some players. However, if you're somebody that wasn't doing that, right, you're probably going to have some concerns. Other units that are going to work out pretty well just because of the shield built into their kit, like I mentioned before, you're going to have these two. And we've already done a clear in our prior TOA video, right? Before the bug fixes, and this is also going to be an annoying part, where we actually use Carlotta Tao Chi on floor 3. And as you can see over here, I'll show you the clear time. Tao Chi has a shield built into her kit. And so she naturally bypasses this debuff over here because your characters will have a shield if she's on your team. And so if you look at this performance that this Carlotta is having, we're using like a level 40 Tao Chi, a shorekeeper at Carlotta, S0R1, and she's basically clearing it with like 20 seconds left on the first try, right? And that's on floor 3. Where this buff was working properly. This debuff apparently was only not working on floor 4, which when you consider how long this version was beta tested once again is like the most hilarious fucking thing ever across 30 plus days of beta testing. None of the testers realized that this debuff wasn't working and had to wait until it goes. Anyways, so this is where the main testing is actually going to be. And so what better way for us to get this testing done than to just see if the Gian Mortifi shorekeeper team that I was using before, let's just see if it gets stone clear. And the thing is that we got around 20 seconds of extra time on our past clear, accounting for some minor ER issues. Maybe it'll be enough. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. I'm a little bit concerned, but hopefully it'll be okay. All right, so Mortifi, blah, 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 Gian. Gian's going to be S1, but we're not going to use it. Let's just see how it goes. And I'm hoping the difficulty isn't at the point where it feels like stuff that could clear can't clear anymore, but we'll just see.
Fury boils. Burn to ashes. Let's your white oak do this another way.
Whoa, what was that? Okay, I'm definitely noticing my damage is a little bit less. Yeah, I'm ticking for like 10k right now.
As you wish. Inferno.
Yeah, I'm ticking for like 10k right now. But the thing is that it doesn't feel that much worse than the previous run that I did. So, again, we'll just keep seeing. Yeah, as long as it doesn't feel much worse, I think it should be fine.
Loading. Darn it. Iron graft you knew.
Fury boils.
The resistance gets cleared when you tomb break? No, it's only when you rupture.
Fear no more.
So we're just applying only regular Tomb Break, so we're getting a minor DPS increase, but it's not going to be to the level of reducing the debuff. But as you can see over here, it doesn't look like we're suffering too much, but we'll just have to see.
From the heart.
It doesn't feel like I'm struggling too much at all, actually.
Inferno.
Loading. In war with time.
Fury boils. Silence. Let's do ready for battle.
Oh, hopefully he didn't go too far away.
I can take it.
Ordained.
As you wish. Inferno.
Astral modulation.
Fury boils. Burn to ashes. Let's do your wide open and fear no more.
Okay, we were definitely ticking way higher before, like in like the 25Ks. But we're still hitting like 20. Yeah, we were literally... and the thing is, guys, I like have the footage. I think it still clears.
Fury boils. Inferno. Silence. Ready for battle.
Oh, man. Actually, no. We have a bit of an ER issue. We're going to have to go again. I think the reason why we didn't clear is because I ulted as the heron was flying away. And so I got kind of fucked there. But I think if that doesn't happen, I think I actually can clear. All right, here we go. That was a bit rough.
From the heart. Loading. I engraft you.
Okay.
Fury boils. Inferno. Burn to ashes. Let's you're wide open this another way. I can take it. Unstoppable.
Ordained.
Okay, all right.
Diminish.
Burn.
In war with time.
Fury boils. Feel my wrath. Let's ready for battle another way. Fear no more.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's looking a little bit rougher to clear now. It's looking way rougher to clear now. And I'm just going to be real over here, right? The thing is that attribute damage buff wasn't there. It wasn't there, and we were getting, like, you know, a good ability to clear, right? And so, I guess the first try a good time, I guess this is the thing, right? I went from raw... This is basically the take. Let me show you the comparison run. And that's why me uploading this video was so great. Now I can show you the comparison run of what's going on here. This is what my previous run looked like. And I'll just hide my camera. You might hear me. Let's just compare the damage numbers, right? Let's compare the damage numbers here on this first tick of this liberation that comes down. And swat them. Know that if this run is dog shit, I've got plenty of ways to make it better. And you want to know why I say that? Because I make a ton of mistakes in this run. So let's just look at the tick damage when we drop down. Our tick damage went from 13k, as you can see over here, 13k to 10 on the first rotation. Each of these ticks was doing 13k. Now they do 10. Now, let me show you something I do in the middle of this rotation because I can literally save time. It's nuts here what I do.
Victory will be ours.
Look at when the heron pops on the screen, right? 337. Actually, not like a crazy time over here.
Spend some extra time on GR to just farm energy.
Look at what I do to extend my rotation. I'm just farming energy here. I spend like 5 seconds doing nothing.
To like farm a little bit of energy, like an additional 10 seconds. Hopefully I don't regret that. But yeah, I might just restart that because of the ER issue. That was awful.
And look at this. Look how much damage we do to this guy now. You ready to see the tick damage? It's 21 by the time we do our first rotation on this boss.
Bro, why am I dealing 23k a tick? Is this bugged?
And then it goes to 23. And you want to know where it's at for the last rotation? It goes up to 24, 25. 24, 25 by the last rotation. And this is the thing, right? I'm able to just, with all those mistakes, clear it at 240. And who knows? Maybe it's good move RNG. I was able to hit the heron a lot. But when I'm able to basically have a budget for an entire sequence over here where I'm doing a whole lot of fucking nothing, just generating energy, right? Look how long I spend on Gion right here. That's like 7 seconds of me just farming energy on him. I just waste 7 seconds making up for an ER issue. And I'm able to clear very comfortably with that in mind. But now, bro, I'm out here fucking sweating. Okay, so now that we reviewed that footage, let's just see if we can get it one last goddamn time. Otherwise, I might just be like, all right,
Stay calm.
Leave me alone. Burn!
I might just get tired. I might just get tired of it, bro.
Fury boils. Feel my wrath. Let's your wide open. Fear no more. It's another way. Break.
Oh my gosh. Look at those awful damage numbers, bro.
Vow from the
Like,
start.
I was doing 13k before, man.
As you wish. Burn!
Loading. Iron graft you knew.
Fury boils. Burn to ashes. Let's do ready for battle. Unstoppable.
Bro, I am just... Okay, this guy is getting parried like a fucking freak, though.
You're no match. Inferno.
Loading. Astral modulation.
Fury boils. Burn. Feel my wrath. Let's your wide open this another way. Fear no more.
All right, we're almost back to, like, the start of, like, the fight numbers, bro. We're almost back to the start of fight numbers.
Inferno.
Diminish. Iron graft you knew.
What?
Fury boils. Burn to ashes. Ready for battle.
Ah, shit. Did I forget to Heron?
Unstoppable.
Ah, man. Honestly, maybe it doesn't matter that much. Yeah, actually, it might not just matter much at all.
Break.
It looks like he is doing some decent attacks.
As you wish. Inferno.
Astral modulation. Loading.
Fury boils. Feel my wrath. Let's do your wide open.
Okay, we got good break timing here, so... Hey, this is like basically now when we have to see.
Oath from the heart. Okay.
As you wish.
Yeah, I don't know. This is not clearing. Yeah, it just... I guess this is my take now. Yeah, this at 15% attribute resistance debuff basically is... Hey, unless you use a character that actually has shielding built in, I guess you're just not going to be able to do this with budget teams. I just don't think it's really going to work out for you because of how this thing works. You basically have to be able to negate this buff if you plan on using a more budget team. However, if I do decide to do some shit like this, right? Obviously, I'm gonna easily clear. Right? If I do some shit like, or sorry, not like this. If I do some shit like this, right? Obviously, it's gonna easily fucking clear. But the goal should really be, hey, I should be able to use this team, and if I'm playing it to a very high ability, I would hope that I'm able to get the 3-star clear. But right now, at least from what I'm seeing, that increase that's been added over here, it's not really letting you do that. And when I'm coming off of an amazing clear over here, where basically, if I were to have played this perfectly, I clear with like 30 seconds left. Like, if I were to have played this one like, look at the damage I deal in this last 20 seconds. I do that all in 10 seconds. Like, you're not dealing that much damage. Like, you're just not dealing that much damage on this reset. And this is my take after experiencing all of this. I don't really see the reason for why this necessarily needed to occur when the main thing that this was doing was just making more teams playable in the endgame. And what this does now is that it has reduced the number of playable teams to a degree where it's... Well, I'm just going to be honest over here. The last reset was some of the most fun I was having with the game because I could use a bunch of different teams. And now it's arguably, I don't think anyone's really saying that this one is much more fun. Because as you saw from the runs that I did, there wasn't that much room for optimization in there, and I'm just not clearing no matter what I do. So it's just not very fun. And when that clearing is something that I was doing in the past reset, I'm gonna be real with you over here, man. Like, what the hell is necessarily going on? And what I will say is that Floor 3, apparently, guys, Floor 3 didn't have this bug. Floor 3 was fully enabled. So, I don't know what it is where my clear on Floor 3 over here looks like fine, right? I had no issues with this Floor 3 clear, and now that I'm looking at the damage, it's the same. Then that means you just overtuned the fuck out of Floor 4. Because this Gion team, as you clearly see over here, destroyed this shit and was able to get it clear. Like, basically, I fuck up slightly. I fuck up slightly and leave, like, a little bit of HP on the guy, right? I could have optimized that out and gotten a really, really good run. Like, look at where this guy's HP is at 253. That's the Dragon of Dirge on Floor 3 with no bugs. So, clearly, it felt fair before when the bug was active and this didn't work. Afterwards, this one feels so much harder than this one. It's crazy. Now, we'll wrap this one up. Let me show you what it looks like when you full out the shilling. I'm going to remove Mortify from this team, right? Here, we're going to lose the heavy attack damage amplification. All we're going to get is fucking 15% amp. Linnea is, like, not buffing this guy very much. Let's move her to Rupture mode.
Good thing.
And make sure that we interact with this buff over here. That when they take 2 Rupture damage, it gets removed. And let's just see what happens. We're getting way worse outro buffs. But we're getting, like, you know, some other amp and stuff on the side. But, yeah, let's just see, man. The team's also way easier to play because you're just Linnea's really easy.
Special delivery. Go boom. Shake it up. That's all you got. No.
You're wide open. Fear no.
Here we go. And remember, we got to get like the tomb break off as fast as possible. And there we go. Now it's triggered, and I think we're just gonna do a fuck ton. Oh wait, what am I doing over here on this unit?
In war with time. Drive safe. Don't blink. You'll miss the best part. Shake it up.
Ready for battle. Unstoppable.
Here we go, guys. Wow, look at my damage. And so basically my take over here is that when you plan on balancing in a way where I'm like not even using the right like team, and I'm just like really like using Linnea with the most random teammate that she could fucking have. When the TOA felt balanced before, and you could do whatever team you wanted, and now I'm over here struggling with this guy's intended support, I use a random person that, like, isn't really meant to work on this team, but it works out better because... like...
Oath from the heart.
Like, I'm just not necessarily sure what reason there is to have turned the TOA from what it was before into whatever this is now.
Ready for battle.
The part that I dislike the most, right, is the fact that Linnea makes this clear so easy. And now you're seeing, oh, wow, I've got, like, the same damage numbers that I had before, right? And now, because those buffs are so strong and get deleted by Tomb Break, I am now getting clear times like this. On the first time I've ever played this fucking team. I don't even know how to play it. Or I guess I do, because I know how to individually play all the characters. But I've never played these three together before. And that's all from removing this. And of course, getting... like, you get a double dip. You remove the 15% all attribute. You also grant a 40% damage bonus. Why is it that strong? Why is it that strong from one person? From one mechanic? That's my take. Because before... you use this. You use Linnea, and you just felt strong, and then all the other teams could clear. Now, teams that could clear before can't clear, but you still use Linnea, and it feels really fucking strong. This is, in my opinion, the worst update I've seen these developers do, because I don't think this... what? How does this... who is happy about this? Because... the only end result is that there's now less teams that can clear. And there's less teams you can actually play. That is the end result. There's just less teams that can clear and less teams that can be used. Because like right now, is that not literally what was just demonstrated right now? And to have this massive of a step back, when this is, I think, one of the best TOAs, or at least the first iteration of it, was one of the best TOAs we've had in the history of the game. Good golly gee, wow, is it really rough to have what we have right now? And when you follow that up with the fact that we didn't get compensation for any of these other bugs, and this is the only thing we're getting compensated for, it does feel like a massive slap in the face. Because none of these other things, which are errors from bad development or bad Q&A during the beta, none of this stuff gets noticed or talked about or compensated when actually a lot of them were game-breaking issues. And then this one over here that has literally taken something that worked and broke it. Guys, this was great. The update broke it. It was good, then the update made it bad. So they compensate us. I guess it's fair then, the compensation. They compensated us on the only thing that actively makes the game worse. But what about shit like this where outro skills are fucking disappearing? What about that? What the hell's going on? Like, what are we doing? Like, that doesn't... It is what it is, man. What I'll say is that I might just have to keep this up here for the entire reset. And do you want to know why? I might have to keep... Because I don't think this is possible to get again. I think this is literally a, like, artifact. I think there might be only, like, 2 people on the server that have this. Yeah, no, I should get... Basically, what I should be awarded at this point is, like, a fucking... What's it called? A title, bro. I should be getting one of, like, those little banners on your user profile. I should be getting one of fucking these. Because, yeah, I'm one of the only 2 people probably on the fucking... On all servers that has it. I think, again, I can't stop stating this enough. I think this is a massive, massive fucking blunder. And I hope that it actually gets reverted. I hope there are additional balance changes or something to bring the HP down or something like that. Because I'm gonna be frankly honest with you, man. Why take something good and break it? And I think the best part is... Let me just describe this situation to you. Because this is actually what happened. The game was beta tested with these settings for 30 days. And people got the feedback, whatever, for the TOA balancing, right? That it was good during the beta with this being bugged because that's how it launched. And so you heard that it was bugged, you bug fixed it, but then the bug fixed clear was never tested. Nobody tested this clear then, right? If it was bugged the entire beta. If it released like this, it wasn't in the beta then, right? And so this fix gets rolled out. Who tested it? Who tested this fix? If the beta had the bugged version. What I'm saying is nobody could have tested this, so it just gets rolled out. Because who could have tested these fixes? What, like 5 Q&A'ers on the Kuro at the Kuro headquarters? Like 5 dudes Q&A'd it? And this is the end result that we're getting. Because you want to know what I bet happened? The bug happened over here, right? And then people were clearing too fast. And they were like, okay, let's bump up the HP on these guys then. Because like, I guess these buffs are not doing anything. They bump up the HP to balance it with the buff with this buff not working. Then they revert the buff, and then now the HP's up, but the buff's now in play, and now it's fucking ridiculous to clear. Maybe that's what happened. I don't fucking know. But the thing is that this seems like, again, the worst thought out solution to this problem I've ever fucking seen. How hard would it have been to just send this at the end of the patch and say, sorry, guys, that shit was actually bugged the entire time. But we recognized it'd be a pretty dipshit idea to take rewards away from people. So we decided to delay this compensation until the end of the reset. But, by the way, it was bugged. Would it have been hard to do that one? Who knows? Whatever it is, man. This is probably the biggest L I've seen Kuro make in, like, months. I don't know what's worse. Version 2.7 having no events, or this? I don't know. This one, some people could view this one as worse when you see the situation surrounding it, but I'll let you guys make this take. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.